Hello everybody, here is another video from one of our speakers who will be appearing at the Bournemouth Writing Festival later this month in April. Today is the turn of James Woolf, who will be leading a session called Making Your Writing Feel Real, and that's going to be on Saturday afternoon at 3:15. So James is going to give a quick overview of who he is as an author and what his session will be about, some of the techniques he uses to make his writing feel real, not just in terms of the characters, but also in terms of the places, tapping into some of the historical events that have happened in the past. So over to you, James.
Hi, my name is James Woolf. I'm really delighted to be appearing at the Bournemouth Writing Festival, and I'm running a session called Making Your Writing Feel Real. It's on the Saturday at 3:15. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and also about the session. I'm a novelist. I've had 2 novels published, both by Bloodhound Books. Both are thrillers. I've also had about 15 plays produced in the theatre and radio, a load of short stories published, and I wrote some adverts for Black & Decker. That's basically my writing background. Both of my novels were published last year. The first was Indefensible, which is a legal thriller. It follows a barrister called Daniel who makes a very bad judgment call in terms of his professional ethics. That book was set in 1995. My second novel, The Company She Keeps, is set in 1979 to 1981. That is set with the Yorkshire Ripper in the background. My first novel was an Amazon bestseller quite quickly, and both have had good reviews so far. The workshop that I'm running is about making your writing real, and something that I do with my books is I plug my fictional story into a historically accurate background. So if, for example, somebody appears on the news and makes a comment in my novel, if you check the date, you will find that that real historical figure will be making that comment on the news on that day. I have historic crime in my book. So in the first book, Fred and Rose West are in the background, and one of my characters, Michaela, is a news reporter, and she reports on the trial of Rose West. That was all historically accurate. The reason I do this kind of thing in my work is because I believe that if you are reading something and some of it's a little bit familiar and it turns out to be actually historic, it gives your writing a kind of verisimilitude. It makes it more believable. You know the real thing happened, so in turn the fictional story is going to be that much more believable. I've got many techniques that I will discuss in my workshop with you. I have a spreadsheet where I have columns for real events that happened historically and events in my book and events that don't even happen in my book but happened in the characters' lives, etc. I'll be talking in more detail about that kind of technique, and also how I use the internet to source real objects that I use in my novel, and also my use of real people and real places. I lived in a flat in Hackney with my brother, and that very flat appears as the site of a murder in Indefensible. It's going to be very exciting. Hope to see loads of you there when I'm talking about making your writing feel real at the Bournemouth Festival. Thank you very much, and see you there, I hope.
Thank you so much, James. Really looking forward to your session on Saturday at 3:15 p.m. at the Pavilion Dance. And I think all authors and writers really want to make their words feel real and believable. So hopefully this will be a very popular choice. So until then, take care and see you soon.